Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description. Kushina, are you feeling okay? Asked Biwako, who was delivering her baby. Biwako-sama. It hurts so much. Kushina screamed. Minato was worried about her, but there was nothing he could do. The birth took place in a small, dark cave near Konoha. Elite Jonin and ANBU stood in every corner. There was a seal at the entrance, guarded by a giant toad. Hokage-sama! The village is under attack. Most likely shinobi from the cloud. They have already broken into the village, shouted the Jounin, who appeared in front of the Hokage in the blink of an eye. Cold sweat came off Minato's forehead. Damn it! On this day, spread out. Evacuate the civilians to the Hokage Rock. All available Jounin and Chunin to the front. Have the Genin help the wounded. Bring me Kakashi and Tenzo, Minato shouted. The Jounin disappeared, and at that moment two Anbu appeared, wearing lion and dog masks. Kakashi, Tenzo! Can you two hold the seal? Minato asked. Tenzo has the element of wood, so he can easily stop the fox, Kakashi replied. That's good, Minato said, then put his hand on Tenzo's shoulder and then disappeared. The latter, in turn, drew a symbol on his hand and put his hand on Kushina's stomach. Obito-sama, are you sure you want to burn Hashirama-sama's cells? Shirazetsu asked. Yes. These cells can bring a lot of trouble to this world if they fall into the wrong hands. And Madara-san would have done the same if he hadn't found me, Obito replied. Zetsu remained silent in response. What did you learn about the Cloud's plans? Obito asked. They've attacked Konoha now. They want to free the fox and capture him, Zetsu reported. I understand. We'll intercept them on the way. We can't let Konoha lose the fox, Obito answered coldly. Obito-sama, why are you so devoted to your village, when your love was killed by your best friend, and your sensei abandoned you at the most necessary moment? So what is the reason? Zetsu asked another question. I don't know myself, but there's something there that I want to protect. If I never find out what it is, will you do it for me? Obito asked with a smile. Yes, master, Shirazetsu said. Damn Madara. Who would have known that he would be such a weakling? A coward. He didn't want to take revenge and even raised a second blockhead, thought Gyuriazetsu. After Minato disappeared, Tenzo concentrated all his chakra into his palm. At first, everything was fine, until an explosion was heard from the entrance to the cave. Kakashi and the rest of the ANBU headed towards the source of the sound. Then something happened that no one expected. Silhouettes of shinobi began to appear from the floor. When Kakashi and the ANBU realized that they were trapped, they were attacked by 30 more Jonin of Cloud. Because of all this, Tenzo, that is, Yamato, was surrounded by enemy shinobi. At that moment, he created a wood clone from his body, which folded seals, and earthen spears came out from under the shinobi's feet. But he also hit Biwako. Because of this, Akiro did not come out of his mother's body completely, and Yamato had to pull him out himself, and he did not know how to do this at all. He took the children and Kushina, and then ran out of the cave. Kakashi, leaving everything to the ANBU and the Hokage, went after Tenzo. It seemed that they had already escaped, but the cave was surrounded by 300 enemy shinobi. Each of them directed their techniques against Kakashi and Tenzo. Because of this, Tenzo had to shield the Hokage's wife and children with his body. Kakashi, take them and hide, Tenzo hissed with his last strength, after which he began to exterminate the enemies with his last strength. Of course, Kakashi did not want to leave Tenzo. They had worked together for a long time and had become good friends. He remembered the glory of Obito, but this was not just a mission. The life of a woman and her newborn children was at stake, so he had to protect them. With such thoughts in his head and tears in his eyes, Kakashi left his friend. Leaving Kushina and her children in a safe place, he went to the Hokage, who was attacking the enemy, to report the situation. But as soon as he ran a kilometer from the place where he left Kushina, 20 more shinobi appeared and took Kushina. Kakashi wanted to catch up with them, but realized that it was useless. He took the children and left them to the ANBU members, who dealt with all the enemies in the cave. Running out of the cave, he saw the dead Tenzo, as well as 300 pierced corpses. Kakashi closed his best friend's eyes, and at that very moment, a red fox of Hispaline size appeared in the center of the village. Kakashi stood in a stupor. He did not know what to do. But having collected his thoughts, the shinobi went to look for Kushina, in order to report everything to the Hokage later. Minato teleported to his stone head. The fox immediately took notice and began loading the tailed beast bomb. So you noticed? Minato was surprised, but still made the necessary seals and put the kunai forward. The fox threw a bomb at Minato, but when it touched Minato's kunai, it was immediately surrounded by seals that absorbed it. Suddenly, his own bomb appeared above the fox, which pressed the Jinchuriki to the ground and injured the back of his head. The third took advantage of this and threw the fox away from the village, leaving the enemy shinobi to Danzo. Minato summoned the Toad Boss and they began to fight. It was clear that the fox was dominating until the third one arrived. "Minato, we need to seal the fox!" Hiruzen shouted. "But who?" asked a tired Minato. "Maybe we should seal it back into Kushina?" Hiruzen asked. No. According to Kakashi, they were attacked by 300 shinobi, and they couldn't hold back the fox. Because of that, I had to go back to the village instead of destroying the enemy's equipment. It was very weak, Minato explained. "And what about your sons? Can the fox be sealed in them?" Hiruzen asked another question. "Akira is too weak, but Naruto will be possible," Minato answered. "Will you be able to give your son the mark of Jinchuriki? You know what fate awaits him, right?" Hiruzen looked at his chosen one with hope. "Probably," Minato said and teleported to Kushina, who was unconscious, then took Naruto and returned to the fox. Minato activated the 8 elements seal and sealed half of the fox into Naruto. "Damn, too big," Minato said. The third nodded to him and, having folded the seals, called the god of death and Shinigami, ordering him to seal the fox in Naruto. He gave his soul. When Minato saw that the fox was sealed, and Hiruzen died, he approached his body, and before falling, he teleported to the infirmary out of habit, and then fainted. 5 Jonin of Cloud came to the battlefield where Minato was fighting, who, realizing that the fox was sealed in the boy, took him and ran back to Cloud. Almost all of their allies were killed by Root. When the enemy shinobi crossed the border of the Land of Fire, one of them began to spin in a crater and was dismembered. The second was cut in half by chains. The remaining 3, seeing that they had lost 2 allies, turned their attention to Obito. "Hey, who are you?" asked one of the Jounin. "Your death." Obito replied and killed him, and then the second one. All their blows passed through Obito, then the third Jounin took out a blade and soaked it with strange chakra. Obito went towards him on foot, covered in blood. The Jounin did not wait and attacked him first. He aimed the blade straight at the Sharingan bearer's stomach. The latter ignored this and cut off the shinobi's head. That's when he noticed that his entire body was beginning to disintegrate. "What's going on?" Obito was surprised. "I'm taking you with me," said the half-dead ninja, after which Obito realized that he was losing strength. "Setsu, keep my eye and give it to the Jinchuriki. He is Minato-sensei's son, so grow him into a strong shinobi," Obito said with his last strength, and then disappeared. After the death of the owner, Shirazetsu picked up the child. When he was about to leave the scene, he remembered the blade of that Jounin from Cloud. He took it and kept it in his body as a memory. After these actions, Zetsu transferred some of his chakra to Naruto, and they disappeared, dissolving into the tree. After 5 minutes of strange images, they found themselves in a shelter. Shirazetsu put the boy on the bed, and he himself went to the store to buy a book. How to Raise a Child for a Single Father, which was quite expensive. Naruto grew up as a quiet boy. He always listened to Zetsu. The boy also quickly mastered everything. And already at the age of 3 he could write, read, count, and also catch fish, which he was taught by an old man who the child once met in the forest. One morning, when Naruto got up and went outside to look for Zetsu, he saw his only friend hanging targets on a tree. "Oh, Naruto-kun, how did you sleep?" asked Shirazetsu, leaving the target on the tree. "Great. What are you doing?" asked an interested child with red hair and purple eyes, which were mesmerizing just by their appearance. Today we will begin your training, Naruto-kun. You are already 4 years old, and at 8 you must leave me, return to your home village and join the academy there. I want you to become stronger by that time and be able to fight, Zetsu explained with a smile. I see. And where is your black half? The scarlet-haired man asked another question. Girazetsu? You see, sometimes at night he leaves my body and then returns. It happens quite rarely, but on such days it is easier for me to live, because I don't have to resist his will. Zetsu answered with a smile. Okay, we've been talking for a while. I put 2 kunai and 2 shurikens somewhere there. Take them and try to throw them at the tree. Hi, sensei, Naruto said with a grin, then picked up 1 kunai and tried to throw it. Of course, he couldn't do it. Zetsu-sensei, why isn't it working? Naruto said in a tired voice after 5 hours of training. Your throwing technique is incorrect, Zetsu said calmly. Then teach me the right one, Naruto suggested, puzzled. No, Naruto-kun, you yourself must choose a throwing style that is more comfortable for you. Throwing kunai and shurikens is not such an easy thing. Even geniuses have to spend about a month to master shuriken jutsu. And you only train for a couple of hours, Zetsu replied. I see, Naruto said sadly, and then continued throwing the kunai. Zetsu carefully watched Naruto's every move. When throwing, the boy made 6 to 7 unnecessary movements, which caused the kunai to go astray and not hit the target. Too many unnecessary movements, Zetsu suggested after a week of training. During this time, Naruto only got into the net 3 times, even though he trained every day for 7 hours. His body received enormous stress and was very sore, but Naruto endured. Thank you, sensei! Naruto shouted and began to correct his movements. After 2 months of training, Naruto began to throw kunai and shurikens correctly, each time he hit the target exactly. The boy was happy with his success and was in a hurry to learn something else. Now that you have mastered the elements of shuriken jutsu, I would very much like to teach you kenjutsu, but at the moment your body is too weak for that, so we will start with physical training and taijutsu. First, do 5 push-ups and 10 squats, and then run twice around the shelter, Zetsu ordered. Hi, Naruto replied and began training. Fortunately, physical training was easier for Naruto, and he made more progress. After 5 months of training in physical strength and taijutsu, Naruto had a good body for his age. He was also on par with strong genin in taijutsu, but his inexperience was making itself felt. Because of this, Zetsu often went with Naruto to small villages so that he could beat up some weak bandits and gain at least some experience. After this training, it was finally time for kenjutsu. Okay, Naruto-kun, time for kenjutsu. Take a kunai and cut wood with it until noon. This way you will strengthen your hand and learn more about the mechanics of the kunai, Zetsu ordered, and Naruto went to do it. After an hour of such training, the boy's hand was very sore. At some point he began to slack off a lot, which did not escape Zetsu's attention. Naruto-kun, at this rate you'll be called trash, Zetsu said menacingly. Naruto swallowed at the tone of his mentor and continued training productively. When daylight came, Zetsu approached Naruto, whose right hand was completely red. And now we will work with the left hand until nightfall, Zetsu said smiling. These words really burned Naruto, but he could not do anything. On the second day, the boy could not move his hands. Because of this, Zetsu made him squat 100 times for each wrong movement during kunai throws, that is, every time Naruto did it. These trainings seemed hellish for the boy. Because of all these loads, he could not move for a whole week. After this incident, Naruto thought that the mentor would loosen his grip, but no such luck. Zetsu began to drive the boy even more. Zetsu intensified physical exercises, and also began to work on Naruto's throwing technique and kenjutsu. So 2 more years passed. Naruto was 6 years old, and he was at the level of a weak chunin in taijutsu, shuriken jutsu, and kenjutsu. Naruto, you are already 6 years old, and you were able to awaken the chakra center. I think it's time to study the academy's techniques. First, you should master shadow clones, which will help you in further training, Zetsu said. Hi, Naruto replied coldly. In 2 years of hard training, he had no time to fool around, The harsh training had changed his character. He became more reserved and cold. Naruto started training. Naruto spent a whole year on shadow clones. On the day when he was finally able to make 100 clones, he suddenly ran out of chakra and the boy passed out. When he woke up, he saw that he was in some kind of sewer with gloomy, green walls. The pipes were leaking from above. Because of this, water was dripping, making a not very pleasant sound. Naruto got up and, looking around, saw a turn at the end of the corridor, from which warmth was blowing. The child went there and found himself in a huge room. There, like everywhere else, there was water, there was mold on the walls and a strange lighting that came from nowhere. Having looked around better, Naruto noticed a huge cage on which there was a seal of 8 elements. Naruto already knew that he was the fox's Jinchuriki, from Zetsu's words. "Fox-sama," Naruto said, waking up the tailed beast. "What? Ah, so that's who my jailer is. Kid, why did you come here? For power?" asked Kurama with a grin. "I didn't come here, I just passed out due to chakra depletion. And why would I need your chakra? It belongs to you, only you have the right to use it," Naruto said. You're a strange boy." The fox was perplexed. "Fox-san, I understand everything, of course, but someone gave birth to you or created you. I don't believe that your creator didn't give you a name," Naruto said. I have a name, Kurama," Kurama answered in shock. "Okay, so Kurama-san. What a great name! I hope we'll be good friends," Naruto said with a smile. Kurama was shocked. He didn't expect his father's prediction to ever come true. "Okay, if you don't need anything then get lost," said Kurama, throwing the boy out. "Well done, Naruto, you mastered an S-rank technique," Zetsu congratulated the awakened student. "Yeah, I was talking to the fox. It turns out he does have a name after all," Naruto said with a smile. "And what kind of one?" Zetsu asked with interest. Speaking of his other half, for unknown reasons, after that day, he never returned to the White Zetsu. "His name is Kurama. We even became friends," Naruto said in the same way. "Well, I'm happy for you. Tomorrow we'll start learning the rest of the techniques." Zetsu smiled, then left the boy. Naruto spent the next 6 months studying ninjutsu. He mastered the techniques of the academies, and it also turned out that he had 2 elements, fire and stone. Zetsu taught the young Uzumaki several techniques, like spy ones. Naruto learned to hide his chakra and presence, and also to merge with trees and earth. He spent another 6 months studying the blade that killed Obito. When the boy turned 7, Zetsu called Naruto to him. "Naruto-kun, you need to go to Konoha. After all, you are not yet a citizen and the academy will not accept you right away. If you go now, you will have a year to settle in and find a place to live," Zetsu said. "And you, Sensei?" Naruto asked. "I have some unfinished business. Now I will give you a gift from my master Obito Uchiha," Zetsu said, after which he laid the child on the bed and, having knocked him out, began the eye transplant. When Naruto woke up, he realized that his right eye was bandaged. It hurt like crazy. When the boy sat down on the bed, he saw a note on the table. He picked it up and began to read. "Naruto-kun, I have already left the hideout. Your task is to go to Konoha and become a genin. About your right eye. As you already know, I have transplanted the Manjikyu Sharingan into you. You will have to walk around for a few days so that the eye can take root, and then you can remove it. It is a 3-day walk to Konoha. Don't forget your equipment and eat before you leave. I left some roast lamb." After reading the note, Naruto left it lying on the chair and went into another room. He opened the refrigerator and took out some meat and started eating it. After that, the child drank some water and went outside. After catching a few birds, he sealed them and then went to get his blade and kunai. When Naruto had packed his things, he left the shelter, locking the door and sealing the key. For 2 days, Naruto simply walked slowly. But at the end of the 2nd day, 3 renegade Chunin jumped out at him. "Hey boy, what's that pretty blade? I think it's worth a lot," the first Chunin said, laughing. "Give it to us if you want to live," added the second. "Moreover, you are disabled, without an eye. Why do you need this blade?" asked the third. Naruto wasn't really listening, he was just thinking. 3 renegade Chunin, taller than me, and most likely stronger. One has a sword, the rest, apparently, do not fight in close combat. My position is bad, I cannot see with one eye, especially this terrible pain prevents me from concentrating. The result, even if I attack them, I will most likely get hit hard, and lose the blade. I need to run. But how? There is a passage on the left, but they will obviously run there if they lose sight of me. Obviously, they underestimate me. My task is to throw a smoke bomb, then create a clone, then I must hide my chakra and pass through the ground. At this moment the clone should run to that turn leaving traces so that the Chunin believe. I think it will work. After these thoughts, Naruto threw a smoke bomb, hiding from the Chunin's sight. Hey brat, do you think this will help you? Said one Chunin, walking into the smoke. He heard the boy running, who ran into the turn. Hey! Over here, guys! He's here! The shinobi yelled and chased after the boy. The real Naruto has long since disappeared from the Chunin. The technique of teleportation through the ground and trees takes half of his chakra. Damn, if it weren't for Zetsu-sensei's technique, I would have died a long time ago. Naruto said tiredly, after which he took out another bird and, having fried it, ate it. It was already night, so Naruto, leaving the clone on duty, fell asleep. Nothing special happened that night, and the next day some guy blocked his way. Hey, give me the money, he said in a strange tone. There is no headband, and I don't feel any chakra in him, no shinobi equipment, so he is a simple bandit. It is obvious that he is quite strong in taijutsu, but I think I can handle him. Naruto thought again, after which he created a clone. The clone ran at the bandit, and they began to fight. The difference in height made itself felt, but Naruto did not cool off either. All this time, he was accumulating yang chakra with a sword stuck in the ground. After soaking the sword with it, he took the blade out of the ground, then he appeared behind the bandit and pierced him with his sword. The bandit began to evaporate, and eventually died. Naruto sighed with relief. After these battles he realized that he had little enough chakra for these techniques and needed to meditate more. He was already close to Konoha, so he continued on his way. Having reached the gate, he slowly began to walk. Hey boy, what's your name? Kotetsu asked with a smile as he blocked his way. Naruto. He answered coldly. An orphan then? Another question, what is the purpose of your death? Kotetsu asked another question. I want to visit the Hokage and ask him for a loan, Naruto replied. You're weird, but oh well, said Kotetsu, handing the paper to the boy. What is this? Naruto didn't understand. This is the right to live in Konoha. Without this document, you can be arrested in the village, the black-haired man explained with a smile. Okay, thanks, Naruto replied in the same tone. He's weird, Kotetsu said as Izuma approached him and hugged him from behind. Don't be afraid, everything will be fine, he said. You're fucking annoying me with your gay jokes, Izuma, the red Kotetsu yelled at his friend, after which he returned to his post, while Izuma was laughing like a horse. Naruto was already on the main street. He liked Konoha, but he had to go to the residence. When he entered there and went up to the second floor, he was met by Danzo, who was leaving the Hokage's office. Boy, what are you doing here? Danzo asked menacingly. It's none of your business, old man with the Sharingan on his hand, Naruto said with a grin. You're an interesting boy, Danzo said with the same smile and walked on, letting the boy pass. After Naruto reached the office, he knocked. Come in, he heard the tired but very pleasant voice of a 32-year-old man. Entering the office, he saw the Hokage's white head, which didn't really match his sad, tired face. Minato, noticing the boy with red hair and purple eyes, immediately remembered his son. Hello, Hokage-sama, my name is Naruto. I am the Jinchuriki of the Two-Tailed Fox. Naruto immediately laid out everything. But Minato wasn't even listening, he was just looking at the left half of his son's face, which was completely bandaged. The wheat-haired man pounced on Naruto and started hugging him. How I miss you, Minato said with tears in his eyes. Am I missing something or are you an idiot? Naruto asked. After these words, Minato sat Naruto down on the couch and began to tell the whole story, from beginning to end. After learning that Minato Namikaze was his father, Naruto began to cry. The boy always thought that he was an orphan. "Father, can you not tell mother that I'm alive? Just announce to the village heads that I'm back," Naruto asked. "But why?" Minato wondered. "First of all, if people realize that I'm a Jinchuriki, they'll hate me, and the title of Hokage's son doesn't suit me. I'm sure Akiro is already doing a good job of it," Naruto explained. "I see, now tell me your story," Minato said. "Sometime later, at least I need to join the academy and become a genin. I also need a place to live, and also, I don't trust this Danzo, or whatever his name is, be careful with him," Naruto said. "Okay, here's the key," said Minato happily. Naruto took the key and left the office. There they saw Shikakanera. "Huh? Boy. Do you need something?" asked Nara. "No, I'm already leaving," Naruto replied and left the residence. When he got home, he put the key his father gave him in and turned it over and entered the apartment, which was surprisingly large and quite clean. Naruto unpacked all his things, threw them in the closet, and then went to the store. He took out his 2,000 ryo, which he saved from the pocket money that Zetsu gave him for all sorts of trinkets. Entering the store, he was met by a cute girl with a smile. "Hello, how can I help you?" the girl asked. "I need 2,000 ryo worth of custard noodles," Naruto answered coldly. Well, okay, that will be 65 packets," the wary girl answered. Naruto gave her the money and took the food and brought everything into the house. Soon he opened one packet, poured hot water into it, and began to eat the noodles. Having eaten his fill, Naruto lay down on the bed and entered the subconscious. "Hello, Kurama," Naruto said in a friendly tone. "And you too, Bug. What did you want?" asked the tailed one. "You've definitely seen some cool techniques. Will you teach me them?" Naruto asked. Where would I go? You know, your father has one good technique. It's called Rasengan. You don't need to have a special element for it. But it requires control of the chakra shape, which is even more problematic. It's unlikely that he will have a free day to teach you, so you will need to find someone else who knows this technique. He is watching you now," said Kurama. "So the dog knows Rasengan? Interesting," Naruto said, thanked his friend and came out of the subconscious. "Hey dog," Naruto said, waking up. "Is this him for me?" Kakashi thought. "Yeah, right," Naruto said, predicting the ANBU's thoughts without getting up from the bed. "Come out." After these words, an ANBU wearing a dog mask appeared in the room. "How did you spot me?" asked the silver-haired man. "My specialty is espionage ninjutsu. I can easily detect a person hiding their chakra, because the chakra stops spinning around them. This is what gives them away. Everything in this world has chakra, even small flowers. In a place where there is no chakra, there is actually a person hiding it," Naruto explained. "You're smart," said Kakashi. "What's your name?" Naruto asked, sitting down. "Dog," Kakashi answered coldly. "I mean the real name, not the call sign. Minato will allow it." Kakashi knew who Naruto was, so he took off his mask and pounced on him with a hug. Sorry, Naruto. If I hadn't screwed up that day 7 years ago, you would have lived with your family." "I'm sorry, Naruto," Kakashi said, not hiding his tears. That day, Kakashi lost everyone. His sensei became gloomier, his best friend at work died, Guy went on a journey with his student Lee. Kakashi was literally alone. Naruto was the only ray of light in his life. You ask why? Because they are not related in any way? They are connected in a way. They have the same eyes, the eyes of the person Kakashi valued more than anyone else. The silver-haired man did not know why, but he clearly felt Obito's chakra in Naruto's bandaged eye. Naruto responded with a hug. "Tell me everything you know about Obito," Kakashi said, cooling down. Naruto told everything he learned from Zetsu. "So, he did save you that night after all. He did what I couldn't do again. He saved the village again. Even at the cost of his own life." Kakashi smiled sadly. "After his death, Zetsu saved Obito's eye, and then transplanted it to me. Tomorrow morning I will be able to remove the bandage. Since it happened so, I wanted to ask you to teach me the Rasengan, But it seems that you can teach me more than just that, Naruto added with a smile. Okay, Naruto-kun. I need to go to the Hokage and report that you are okay. Take care of yourself, said Kakashi, and putting the dog mask back on, he disappeared into Shunshin. So he's a friend of Zetsu-san's master, Naruto thought. He left the apartment, locked it, and headed to the training ground. There he stretched and sat in the lotus position. He wanted to increase his chakra reserve. He sat like that all day. So far the result was small, but Kurama said that the more he trained and meditated, the easier it would be for him to increase his chakra. Tired, Naruto returned home and went to bed. The next morning Naruto took off the annoying bandages, and saw the Sharingan with 3 Tomo there. Naruto tried to deactivate it, but nothing worked. Because you don't have the Uchiha gene, you won't be able to deactivate the Sharingan, the flea-faced one explained. So what should we do now? Naruto asked his friend. Well, buy some kind of bandage. Like Kakashi's, for example. Hide your eye under it, so your chakra won't be wasted, Kurama suggested. And this is an idea. After Kurama's words, the red-haired man threw on hinge and left the apartment, heading to the bazaar. It was quite noisy there. Children were running around everywhere with their mothers following them. Sellers were shouting at customers to attract someone to themselves, although in fact they were driving them away. Naruto was literally irritated by this place. Eventually he found a bench where a man was sitting, reading a book. Behind the man's back were hanging various kinds of bandages for his forehead, eyes, mouth, and so on. Hello? Naruto greeted. Hello, boy. You probably need a bandage, the salesman said. Then he put the black book away. Yes. I don't have any money now, so I came to look at the prices, the young man answered. What kind of bandage are you interested in? Asked the man, looking at his assortment. I need an eye patch and a mouth patch. Like that Jonin you sold to, Naruto said. He told you that? The seller asked in surprise. No, but we are close to each other, Naruto explained with his eyes closed. You look strong for your age. Listen, I can give you these things for free if you do one favor, he offered. And what kind of one? Naruto asked, opening one eye. Anyway, there's a gang of hooligans hanging around nearby, about 10 years old. It's not like they're bothering me, but do you see that old granny? The man said, pointing to the granny who was selling sandals. And? Naruto responded, looking at his grandmother. They often take money from her. I could beat them myself, but I don't want to get my hands dirty. Will you do it? The seller asked with a smile. Okay. Naruto replied and began to wait for the hooligans to arrive. An hour later, 5 boys and 1 girl approached Granny's counter. The leader had a knife in his hands. Hey, old Cordy! Give me the money you earned this month! The leader shouted, threatening the grandmother. All right now, the granny answered in a sad tone, taking out the money. Naruto literally hated all people from this sight. He approached the boy with a knife in his hands, and put his hand on the metal object. Hey, you bastard! How dare you hurt such a nice granny? You're probably afraid to threaten people stronger than you. Let's go and move away, Naruto said in a rough voice. Ha! Leave me alone. I don't have time for you now. Better get out of here, the boy said mockingly. I see, you're afraid of being embarrassed in front of the girl? Naruto added in the same tone, looking at the girl who didn't care about anything. She was just counting the money that the hooligans took from her grandmother. What did you say? The boy immediately blushed. Without waiting a second, the boy pounced on Naruto with his fists. Everyone began to watch how easily Naruto dodged the boy's blows. Hey, you're even weaker than any genin, Naruto said and caught the fist, threw it over his back, putting his foot to the head. If I see you here again, you'll be in trouble, Naruto said, but suddenly a fist from the second boy hit him in the ribs from behind. Decided to attack me as a herd? All 4 boys attacked Naruto, and the girl just watched. Suddenly, all of them pulled out knives. Naruto attacked the first one, and kicked him in the arm, knocking out his knife, then took it and threw it at the second one, knocking them both out. 2 more attacked from both sides. Naruto jumped, did the splits in the air, thereby kicking 2 boys in the face, also knocking them out. Naruto looked around and noticed that the girl was gone. At that very second, he felt pain in his liver. A knife in the liver, no one lasts forever, the girl said with a serious face. Naruto coughed up blood and, hitting her in the neck, knocked her out. Cage. Damn it, he said. The onlookers went to look at Naruto. The grandmother asked to call an ambulance, but the boy stopped everyone. He took out a knife, and the wound began to heal instantly. I'm fine, Naruto said, then took the money the hooligans had stolen and gave it to his grandmother. If they come here again, let me know, Naruto said, then walked up to the mask seller. Well, you did well. I see you are a kind person. Instead of trying to gain some benefit from me, you saved that granny, Naruto said, putting a mask over his mouth and eyes, waving henge. I can understand putting a bandage on your eye, but why on your mouth? The seller was perplexed. So that one woman doesn't find out, Naruto said, after which he disappeared underground. A woman? The seller asked himself, and then continued reading the book. Once home, Naruto prepared another pack of instant noodles and, after eating it, went to bed. The next morning there was a knock on his door. Who are you? Naruto asked, opening the door. I'm a postman. Here's a package from the payments bureau, the man said, smiling. Yeah, thanks, Naruto said, taking the envelope and closing the door in front of the postman. He put the envelope on the table and went to the bathroom. After bathing and eating, he opened the letter. It contained 5,000 ryo. Oh, so that's how much the allowance is? Interesting, Naruto said, putting the money in the nightstand. I'll only spend it on what's necessary, Naruto promised himself. He got dressed and then went outside. The young man started looking for Kakashi. Eventually realizing that he was in ANBU and wouldn't find him that easily, he headed to the residence. Knocking on the door, he heard a cheerful, "Come in." "Dad, do you know where Kakashi is?" Naruto asked. "Dog, come here," Minato shouted, and Kakashi jumped out of the shadows. "Why do you need it?" Minato asked. "He has to train me. Please allow him to do so," Naruto asked. "Okay then," Minato said, giving the signal and letting the two friends go. Once at the training ground, Kakashi began training. "You wanted to learn the Rasengan, right? Am I right?" Kakashi asked. "Yes, it's true," Naruto replied. "That's good. By the way, did you buy something to cover your eye? You're walking around with a henge," Kakashi asked. "Yes, I bought these headbands, but forgot something at home. Only halfway to the residence I realized that I actually have headbands," Naruto said, scratching the top of his head. "I see. Rasengan will be a very difficult technique for you, but you have Sharingan, especially Manjikyu. We need to teach you to use your right eye, and then using it you will copy Rasengan, understood?" asked Kakashi. "Yes." "Okay, let's begin," Kakashi said confidently, jumping back and taking the scroll. "Try to dodge all the balls," Kakashi said, and millions of small, iron balls flew out of the scroll and headed towards Naruto. At that moment, Naruto saw a red line that began to change its direction, dodging the balls back and forth. Naruto didn't understand what was happening until a bunch of iron balls flew into his face. "Follow the line," Kakashi prompted. "I already understand," Naruto replied. Kakashi opened another scroll again. Now Naruto saw another way. He ran exactly after the line, but it overtook him, causing another portion of balls to hit his stomach, and then his legs, causing Naruto to fall. "Damn!" Naruto yelled. "You need to improve your speed and mobility," Kakashi added. After a week of such training, Naruto could dodge the first wave of balls, and after a month he could even predict Kakashi's blows, although he was not always able to dodge. Not to mention that he could not even attack the sensei. "Okay, we've learned the first ability of the Sharingan, now the second. Just what we need. Theoretically, this part is impossible to explain. Your task is to copy the easiest technique of the earth elements, earth clones. Try it," Kakashi said, creating an earth clone. Naruto watched the process closely and tried to repeat it, but nothing worked. He spent 6 months to master copying, and another 5 to fully master the Rasengan, so that it would be at least similar in strength to Kakashi Sensei's Rasengan. He also got used to wearing a mask when he went outside. He liked this style. He made his hair similar to Kakashi's. If it weren't for the hair color, everyone would have thought that this was a son and his father. Finally, the day of admission to the academy came. After Minato's fiery speech, the children entered the classroom. Naruto took the last seat by the window. A minute later, a boy with jet black hair and impenetrable eyes of the same color sat down next to him. His pain was clearly visible in them. On his back was the crest of the Uchiha clan. If Naruto were an ordinary and naive child, he would have tried to talk to this child. But of course, he understood that it would be a stupid idea. Guys, since it's the first day, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Irika Yumino. I'm your teacher for the next 4 years. I like ramen. The goal is to become the director of the academy. The dream is to open my own academy. Yumino said with a smile. Now it's your turn. The first is Akira Namikaze. Yumino announced. Hello? My name is Akira Namikaze. I am the son of the 4th Hokage. I like ramen. My goal is to become the next Hokage. My dream is to have a good pa. Oh, I mean a good girlfriend. Here. Akira introduced himself with a smile and a face red from embarrassment. The second one is Sara Uzumaki. Yumino announced. My name is Sara Uzumaki. I love my family. My goal is to become a strong kunoichi. A dream? I don't have one, she said in a serious tone. After a few more strangers, Sasuke came out. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I like tomatoes. I don't have a dream, but I do have a goal, to kill one person and revive my clan, Sasuke said. Won't get far, Naruto thought. Next we have Naruto. My name is Naruto. I am an orphan. I love training. My dream is to become a cloud. The goal is to bring one person back to life, Naruto answered. And how are you going to do that? Kiba asked with a laugh. With the help of the Edo Tensei technique, he replied. Knows about such a technique at 8 years old? Interesting, thought Yumino. That's all. You can go home, Yumino said, letting the boys go. On the second day, Naruto went outside with a tired face. On his way to the academy, he heard a girl screaming in an alley. When he entered, he saw 2 boys beating her up. Hey, what are you up to? Naruto asked in a menacing tone. Huh? That girl stole money from the cash register of my father's store. We are already poor, and she stole all the money, said the first boy. Why did you do that? Naruto said in the same tone. Food, the girl muttered. I see, Naruto said, turning around. Why don't you protect her? Asked the second boy. Why? She did wrong, and she must pay for it. I'm not going to help, and I have no desire to save this weak creature. Do whatever you want, I need to go, Naruto said menacingly. The boys looked at each other strangely, and taking the money from the girl, left the alley, leaving her there. The black-haired girl with red eyes was left lying in the alley covered in blood until some old man found her and took her to the hospital. Opening the door, Naruto entered the classroom. The teacher was not there yet, and the children were talking loudly and laughing. Naruto's head was hurting from this. He sat down by the window. Next to him, like yesterday, sat Uchiha, who was looking at the board with a bored look. Naruto greeted him with a wave of his hand, and began to look out the window. After waiting like this for another 5 minutes, Irika entered the classroom. Hello kids. Today will be your first lesson. We will start with history. Then there will be math, shinobi strategies, and of course common language. Of the above, Naruto was only interested in the last one. In the first 3 lessons, Naruto and Sasuke showed their best sides, but the girls said that Sasuke was stronger. Okay, now the common language. As you know, there are many different countries on the continent, but our continent is different from the others in that everyone here speaks the same language. Previously, when the settlements were divided into clans, there was no way to come up with their own language, and when the first villages appeared, the countries created a common language, which was based on old signatures and scrolls that were found in ancient temples. Irika explained. Naruto was clearly interested in this. He always wondered why all shinobi spoke the same language. But he never had time to read the book, either training or more interesting books. Because of this, he realized that he couldn't skip the academy, because this subject was very important, especially for various diplomatic purposes. After finishing the lesson, Irika said goodbye to the children and left the classroom. A woman entered. "Hello, children, my name is Ebanuta. Oh, I mean Abana Yumiko. For the next 2 years, I will be helping you with your homework. As the common people call it, I will be running an after-school program for you," said the woman. Afterwards, the children began to do their homework. Having finished everything, Yumiko sent the children home. Coming out into the academy courtyard, Naruto saw a crowd of parents again who had come to pick up their children. He grinned, which was not visible under the mask, and went underground. When he got home, a surprise was waiting for him. The lights were on in the house, and Zetsu was sitting at the table. "Hello, Naruto-kun," he greeted with a smile. "Hello, Zetsu-san," Naruto said. "Why have you come? I found some scrolls that might be useful to you. Also, I tried to destroy Hashirama's cells, which I couldn't do. So I'm thinking of transplanting them to you," Zetsu said. After which he finished his tea. A tempting offer. I wouldn't refuse," Naruto replied. "Okay. Drink this and lie down on the bed. I'll transplant Hashirama's genes into you. Let's hope it doesn't turn into the Rinnegan. Who knows what will happen to your body?" Zetsu warned. "I can handle anything," Naruto answered confidently, and after taking the pill, he lay down on the bed. After which he fell asleep. When he woke up, he saw everything in slow motion. Quickly getting to the mirror, he saw a dark purple eye with circles. As if a drop had fallen into the ocean, and on these circles there were commas. "Zetsu-san!" Naruto shouted. "Are you feeling okay? Does your eye hurt?" Zetsu asked, dumbfounded. "No, everything seems fine. Kurama says that the genes took root easily, and the eye too," Naruto said. Okay, here are the scrolls for the next 4 years. There are your clan's techniques. Since you have Rinnegan, you now have all the elements. It's not for nothing that I took a few scrolls of lightning elements with me," Zetsu said, covering his face. After which he unsealed the scrolls and disappeared. Looking out the window, Naruto realized that it was already late at night, and he needed to go to bed. Otherwise, he would be late for the academy. The next 4 years flew by. Naruto mastered the elements of earth, lightning and fire. He knew such techniques as 1. Lightning, electro clones, water discharge, electric bullets. 2. Fire, fireball, ring of fire. 3. Earth, earth wall, earth spears, earth shurikens, earth waves. He also pumped up his taijutsu skills and could compare to an average chunin. And in terms of intelligence, he was like a strong jounin. Naruto opened his eyes and looked out the window. It was already morning. He looked at the alarm clock and found out that it was already 8:30, and the alarm had not gone off. Damn it! Today is the genin exam. Ugh! Naruto shouted worriedly and ran to the bathroom. After quickly washing himself, he put on a black t-shirt and shorts of the same color. He took a black jacket with a Will of Fire symbol on the back. He ran out of the apartment. Having given chakra to his legs, he ran up one building and jumped on the roofs. Barely in time, he wanted to run into the classroom, but at the entrance he ran into Irika, who was about to enter the office, knowing that if Irika found out that he was late, he would not be well. Therefore, having run into another office, Naruto climbed out the window. Approaching the window of his classroom, he saw that Irika was marking students. Having knocked on the window, Sasuke opened it, and Naruto jumped into the classroom in time. He sat down at his place. "Naruto!" Irika shouted. "Here!" Naruto answered breathlessly. "Okay. So everyone is here. Guys, we spent 4 whole years together. These were the best years of my life. Today, the genin exam will be held. I am sure that all of you will pass this exam and become genin," Irika said with a smile. His words made some people cry, while others rejoiced. Only Naruto and Sasuke had no emotions on their faces. Having written the theory test first, Naruto handed in the form in a good mood and went outside. A second later, Sasuke came out with an angry face. For 4 years, they hadn't even really talked, but they had managed to become best friends and rivals. They both felt what it was like to have a brother, and because of that, they valued each other. After 10 minutes, a cheerful Akiro came out, and then everyone else. Now we will test your physical skills. First, you need to run 2 kilometers in 3 minutes. Let's go! Yumino shouted, putting the children in their places on the running field and setting a timer. Naruto ran first as always, followed by Sasuke, and then Akiro. Several students were unable to reach the finish line in time. Some stumbled, and some even lost consciousness, because it takes a lot of strength to run such a distance in 3 minutes at such an age. The second stage. You must climb this platform by any means, and then jump to another, and so on. There are 10 platforms. Time, 2 minutes. Naruto, Sasuke and Akiro climbed using chakra in their feet, and then jumped. The places were the same, but fewer students passed this part. The third stage out of 5. Throwing iron. I think there is no need to explain anything here. The limit for passing to the next stage, 8 kunai on target, 9 shuriken on target. This time only 28 participants passed. The fourth stage, shadow clones. Everyone passed this stage. And the fifth, final stage. Capture the flag. You will be divided into 2 teams of 14 people. You must steal the enemy's flag, and keep your own. Those who can do this will become genin. Yumino shouted. And so, the red team. 1. Shino Aburame. 2. Inuzuka Kiba. 3. Akiro Namikaze. 4. Sarah Uzumaki. 5. Yamanaka Ino. 6. Sakura Haruno. 7. Shikamaru Nara. 8. Tenten Takahashi. 9. Choji Akimichi. 10. Uzumaki Gen. 11. Hinata Hyuga. 12. Rock Lee. 13. Sasuke Uchiha. 14. Naruto. Blue team everyone else. Rest for now. Later you will be given your team armbands. For now, choose a leader. The exam will be held in an abandoned part of Konoha. Yumino said. Then he advised good luck and went back to the academy to rest. After everyone was sent to the abandoned city, the red team gathered in a ring around the flag. So, we've been given time to discuss strategies. First, we'll need to choose a leader. Sarah began. We'll decide this by voting, Akiro added. Half of the girls voted for Sasuke, and the other half voted for Akiro. The boys voted for Sarah. So, as a result, the leaders will be Akiro, Sasuke and Sarah. I propose that we split into 3 teams, which they will manage. Naruto said, looking at the even vote count. Wait, you haven't voted yet. Your vote will decide which of us will be the commander, Akiro said. I'm voting for myself, Naruto quickly replied. At this, Uchiha only snorted, teasing his friend. Okay, I agree with Naruto. We need to split into teams. Let the captains take turns choosing. Sasuke start, Sarah said. Naruto, come here, he said. I choose Kiba, Akiro shouted. I'll take Hinata, Sarah chose. As a result, the teams turned out to be like this. 1. Team Sasuke, 2. Team Akiro, 3. Team Sarah. Naruto. Ino. Everyone else. Sakura. Tenten. Shikamaru. Rock Lee. Choji. Shino. General Kiba. So, we decided that Team 1 is the attacking team. The second is the support team. The third is the defense team, Sarah announced. Can I suggest a strategy? Naruto asked. Go ahead, Sasuke answered for everyone. Since the second team is support, let them stay in the middle. In case of emergency on defense, they should retreat and help them. For this, I will give you a scroll. Defense will have to point the scroll upward and open it. A flame dragon will fly out from there. This will be the sign. In case of emergency, Team 1 will also retreat, Naruto said. Okay, Akiro said, taking the scroll from Naruto. Then he gave it to Sarah. The horn sounded immediately, signaling the start of the test. Sasuke's team immediately ran forward. I suggest we split up. Naruto, go to Shikamaru and Choji. I'll go with Jen and Sakura. We'll surround their flag from both sides. It's advisable to leave enemies along the way for Team 2, but if there's no way out, please don't lose. Sasuke said, then waved his hand, and Naruto and his mini-team ran to surround the enemy building. After running a kilometer, 5 clones jumped out at them. Naruto burned them with a fireball, then the owner of the clones ran out with a katana. Shika, Choji, run, I'll catch up with you, Naruto ordered, taking out his sword. He did not soak it with special chakra, since it was necessary to simply knock out the opponent. Fighting in Kenjutsu, Naruto left a few cuts and knocked out the enemy, after which he quickly found himself at Shika and Choji with the merging with the earth technique. They were battered, since they were met by 4 enemies who beat them harshly. Naruto created 2 clones. The latter ran at the enemies. The first clone was pierced with a kunai, and the second was hit in the head. Unfortunately for the opponents, these were electric clones, which is why they were already lying on the ground. There were 3 more left. Naruto used earth waves, which is why the opponents were knocked off their feet. Naruto used the earth shuriken technique, but instead of shurikens, he threw simple stones so as not to cause much harm. Having knocked them out, he approached his comrades. Are you feeling okay? Naruto asked. You might as well ask me if I'm cold with a protruding rib, Shikamaru said. What are you worried about? I'll set it right now, Naruto said, hitting the rib, which immediately returned to its place. Let's keep moving, Naruto said, and they ran on. On the roof, they saw Sasuke fighting 3 enemies alone, with Jen and Sakura unconscious. Sasuke was also battered. Choji, come on, Naruto ordered. He enlarged his body and destroyed the bottom of the building, because of which it began to collapse. Naruto took advantage of this and used ground waves on the roof of the building, because of which absolutely everyone fell. Naruto quickly picked up the flag and jumped down. At this time, Shikamaru caught everyone in his shadow. He let go of Sasuke, Sakura and Jen, and finished off the others with Naruto. So 11 people have already been eliminated, there are still 3 left. Have you met them again? Naruto asked. No, Sasuke muttered because of the pain. Akiro, who was badly beaten, immediately jumped towards them. Guys, there are 3 of them defending. Strong ones? Sarah was left alone and asked me to bring you back, Akiro said, and then fainted. Damn! Sasuke screamed. Hey you, guard the flag and heal Akiro. Sasuke and I can handle it, Naruto said, touching his friend, and together they passed through the ground. Sarah was already knocked out and the enemies wanted to take the flag, but they were stopped by Naruto's kunai, which hit his classmate's hand. Naruto fought him in taijutsu and quickly knocked him out. Sasuke hit the second one with a kunai with sleeping poison. The third used a stream of water, which completely destroyed the building. Who is this? I haven't noticed this kind of power in him before, Naruto thought, but all his thoughts immediately dissipated when he saw that the guy had passed out from the chakra drain. I see. He just learned one powerful but chakra-consuming technique and thought he could be a shinobi. Well, if it weren't for us, he could have, Naruto said. Yes, Uchiha nodded. The red team has won, a loud voice announced. That evening, everyone was given blue headbands, which Naruto didn't really like, but he had no choice. He took off his headband and put a bandana over his eye. They were also told to come to the academy on the second day to be assigned to teams. The next day Naruto ate, got dressed and headed to the damned academy again. He was tired of going there, but he had no choice. Iruka could spot the clones right away. Entering the classroom, he sat down next to Sasuke. After about 30 minutes, Iruka entered too. Hello kids. Today is your graduation from the academy. You will be divided into teams of 3, Iruka said. Sasuke will be with me. What makes you think that? He will be with me. And Akira will definitely be on my team. Yeah, that won't happen. The girls' screams could be heard. As always, only Hinata and Sarah were silent. I'll announce the teams now, Iruka said. Team 6, Akira Namikaze. Sakura Haruno. Kiba Inuzuka. Your mentor is Kitaro Hyuga. Team 7, Naruto. Sasuke Uchiha. Sarah Uzumaki. Your mentor is Kakashi Hatake. Teammate, Hinata Hyuga. Shino Abirame. Gen Uzumaki. Mentor Kazuma Uzumaki Team 9, Ino Yamanaka. Shikamaru Nara. Choji Akimichi. Your mentor is Asuma Sarutobi. Naruto didn't listen any further, but simply spoke to Kurama. An hour later, everyone except the 7th team was taken away. Ha! What kind of sensei is this? Late on such a day, Sarah said with an evil grin. He should be punished, Sasuke added in the same tone. Okay then, Naruto responded, then ran a fishing line to the door. Then he connected it to a bucket filled with paint. Is that enough? No way, said Sarah and stood up. Then she jumped out the window and returned a minute later with the pillow. What are you planning? Sasuke was perplexed. Sarah simply cut the pillow with a kunai and feathers came out. She passed the second line over the paint and stuck the feathers on. It's your turn now, Sasuke, she said. Sasuke reluctantly stood up and jumped out the window too. 30 minutes later he returned with something horrible in a bag. It smelled so bad that skunks lost to it. What do you have there? Sarah asked breathlessly. Expired fish, Sasuke said in the gas mask. Then he put it in the paint. Now you, Naruto. Okay, Naruto replied, casting a seal to conceal his scent. Everyone immediately felt better. An hour later there was a stomping sound outside the door. As soon as the teacher entered, he yanked the fishing line with his foot. Paint splashed on him and a fish fell. He began to smell. Then feathers fell. Kakashi looked like a chicken. The young genin laughed. I see, idiot, Kakashi said and disappeared into the haze. A clone? Everyone thought. Kakashi came out from behind the clone. Let's talk on the roof, it stinks a bit here, he said with a smile in his eye and disappeared into Shunshin. Naruto fell into the floor, and Sarah and Sasuke headed along the wall, jumping out of the window. Once on the roof, Kakashi was already waiting for them there. Sit down, he said, and the genin did. Introduce yourself to me. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you like and don't like. Your hobbies, dreams, goals, and so on, Kakashi said, not looking up at the students. Maybe you should introduce yourself first? Set an example for us, Sarah said. Okay then. My name is Kakashi Hatake. I'm 24 years old. I like and dislike many things. My hobby is reading. I'll keep my dreams and goals to myself. Now you, redhead, Kakashi said, pointing at Sarah. My name is Sarah Uzumaki. I love. The girl looked at Sasuke. My hobby is training. My dream. Sarah looked at Sasuke again. The goal is to become the first female Hokage, she said confidently. Girls her age often think about guys, Kakashi thought. Now you, he said, pointing at Uchiha. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I like tomatoes. My hobby is training. I don't have a dream, but I have a goal, to kill one person and revive my clan. Uchiha answered. I see. Now you, he pointed at Naruto. Sensei, the Hokage has passed on all the important information about us, and we know each other very well. I don't see any point in wasting precious time, Naruto answered coldly. You're smart. Okay, tomorrow at 6 a.m. there will be the last test at the 7th training ground. If you fail, you'll return to the academy. I advise you not to have breakfast, you might throw up, Kakashi said and disappeared. Okay, Sasuke-kun. Let's go celebrate our graduation from the academy? Sarah asked, standing up. Naruto, are you coming? Sasuke asked his friend. Ahem, I think I'll leave you two alone, Naruto said and disappeared. His own words made his heart ache. Damn, what a bastard, Sasuke thought. Well, let's go, Sarah said, leading Sasuke by the hand. On his way home, Naruto saw Akira's team celebrating their graduation from the academy. Kiba noticed him. Hey, Naruto! Why are you so sad? Come here! Kiba shouted. Huh! Naruto! Come here! Akira added. What happened? Naruto asked as he approached them. Why are you so lonely? We saw Sasuke and Sarah. You're on the same team, right? Why don't you hang out together? Sakura asked. It wasn't that she was worried about Naruto, She just didn't want Sasuke to be alone with Sarah. I have other things to do. Sorry, but I have to go, Naruto said and continued on his way. He's strange. But it's okay. He'll figure it out, Kiba said with a smile. The next day Naruto left home at 5 in the morning, taking his lunch with him. He simply forgot Kakashi's words about not taking food. He ate on the way and arrived at the training ground and began to wait. Sasuke arrived 10 minutes later, and then Sarah. By 10 o'clock the teacher arrived too. Kakashi-sensei, why are you late? Naruto asked angrily. Well, a black cat crossed the road. I had to go around it, answered Kakashi. Of course, no one believed this nonsense. Anyway. See this? Said the teacher, holding the bells in his hands. You will have to take them from me. Let's say before noon. When I say start, I will start the timer. Fight as if you want to kill me. Otherwise, you will not be able to take the bells, explained the silver-haired man. But teacher, there are only 2 bells. What does that mean? Asked Sarah. You see, whoever can't get the bell will go back to the academy, Kakashi replied. So we need to compete to become genin? Sasuke decided for himself. Something like that, Kakashi replied. Okay, said the genins. Start! Kakashi shouted, starting the timer. Sasuke hid in the tree branches and Sarah jumped into the bushes. Kakashi noticed both of them, but could not spot Naruto. Where did you go? Kakashi wondered. Suddenly, his intuition told him of danger from below. He jumped, and immediately hands came out from there, trying to grab him. At the same time, the hands threw a kunai with an explosive seal at Kakashi, and then dissipated. Kakashi dodged the explosive kunai, which did not even explode. The kunai turned into Naruto, who shot a fireball at Kakashi. The latter wanted to jump to the left, but Sasuke's fireball flew from there. Then the teacher decided to jump to the right, but ice spikes were waiting for him there. What? The ice genome? In Konoha? Only the Yuki clan had it. Kakashi was surprised. My grandfather was from the Yuki clan, Sarah replied. Kakashi jumped up, dodging the ball, but Naruto was already waiting for him there with a blade. They began a fight in Kenjutsu in the air. They almost fought on equal terms, but it was noticeable that Kakashi was faster. Naruto jumped away from him and disappeared underground. At this time, Sasuke ran at Kakashi, who attacked in taijutsu, and Sarah covered him with ice. As a result, Sasuke was able to touch the bells. Naruto immediately ran at Kakashi with a kunai. He knocked Sasuke away from himself and jabbed the kunai at Naruto, knowing that it was a clone. At the same time, a shudder ran through his body, and then terrible pain. It was an electro-clone. Due to the kunai, all the electricity went to Kakashi's hand. Because of this, his right hand was temporarily inoperative. The real Naruto used earthen spears near Kakashi's leg. At the very last moment, the teacher was able to dodge, but his thigh was cut exactly in the place where the bells that Naruto was now holding were. Ha! You're a good boy. The first one who took the bells from me was Naruto. Who are you going to give the second one to? Asked Kakashi. Naruto, without further ado, threw the bells to Sarah and Sasuke. It was a test of teamwork, wasn't it? Naruto said. You really are very smart for your age. Okay, the food is there. Divide it up somehow. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., at the Hokage residence. Don't be late, Kakashi said and disappeared into Shunshin. Damn! Sasuke got angry. What happened? Sarah asked worriedly. Where did you get such strength? Sasuke asked, attacking his friend. Hey, cool your ardor, Uchiha. You'd be better off training more than hanging out with girls, Naruto said, glancing discreetly at Sarah, who was looking at the boys with a wary gaze. What did you say? Sasuke shouted with even more anger. Naruto disappeared and appeared from behind and hit Sasuke. The latter fainted from the blow. Take him home and look after him. Let him calm down, Naruto said and fell into the ground. Once home, Naruto ate and went outside again. He needed to buy new clothes, because the old ones were too small for him. When he went outside, he felt someone's gaze on him. In the shadows, he saw a black-haired girl with red eyes and ragged clothes. Naruto was wary, but he continued walking. When he reached the market, he approached the stall with the same granny. "Hey, Grandma! How much are the socks?" Naruto asked with a smile. "Oh dear! It's free for you. Take whatever you want," Grandma answered. "Thanks, Grandma," Naruto said, taking a pair of socks and saying goodbye to her. "So how much is this black shirt?" Naruto asked as he approached another bench. "Hey bro, listen, this is a boy's t-shirt. Listen, it will suit you, I ask. Listen, 390 are stand bro," the seller began. "I'll take it for 350, Naruto said. No. Listen bro, 390 is the last price. Listen, it's not my shop, I can't give bigger discounts, so it's either 390 Rio or nothing." The seller turned away. Okay," Naruto said and gave the happy shop assistant the money, taking the shirt. Then he went to look for pants and shorts. Approaching the bench, he saw that same girl. Taking a closer look, Naruto noticed that she was even very beautiful, but she had cuts on her hands. "Hello?" Naruto greeted. "Hello?" the girl said quietly. "How much are these pants?" Naruto asked, looking at the blue pants. 500 Rio, the girl answered. "Why is it so expensive? Did they bring it from China or something?" asked Naruto. "From Korea," the girl answered quietly again. "Okay, I'll take it," Naruto answered, giving the money and taking the pants. "Now for sandals," Naruto thought, and went to the next shop. "Hello, do you have shinobi sandals?" Naruto asked, looking at the selection. "Of course," the woman said, showing sandals in his size. "How much do they cost?" "Only 150 Rio," the woman answered with a smile. "I'll take it," Naruto said, handing over the last of his money and taking the sandals. "Damn, I won't have enough for shorts. I'll be happy if I can eat every day until the end of the month, otherwise I spent all my money on clothes. From Korea, it turns out. Well, at least they'll last longer. At least the socks are free," Naruto thought with empty pockets. Reaching home, Naruto changed his clothes and looked in the mirror. A boy of about 12 years old, with red hair and a purple eye and Rinnegan, with smooth skin and aristocratic facial features that you could cut your finger on, looked at him. Naruto put the eye patch and face mask back on and went to the training ground to continue studying the scrolls. Having reached the training ground, he sat down in the lotus position and entered the subconscious. "Hello Kurama, you probably saw how Hagoromo used his eyes? Will you teach me how to use the Rinnegan too?" Naruto asked. "Well, we'll figure out the Rinnegan technique, and Zetsu will help with the Sharingan," the red-haired person answered. "Okay, do you have any techniques in mind?" the red-haired man asked. The most impressive are Shinra Tensei and Bansho Tenin. There is also Chibaku Tensei, but God forbid you accidentally activate it, you can destroy an entire continent," Kurama said, raising his finger. It seems like a strong technique. It will be useful in the war with the cloud. Okay, let's start with Shinra Tensei. What kind of technique is this?" Naruto asked another question. "Well, look, this technique will help you move any object away from yourself. You just need to stick your hand forward, then take a pinch of chakra from your eye and direct it to your hand, then you need to release the chakra in the direction you want. If you hold the chakra in your hand, everything will be attracted. This can be controlled if you dilute the Rinnegan chakra in your hand with your chakra. This way, you will gain control over it. Got it? But there is one but, a big but. When the chakra is in your hand, you must push it right to the edge of the skin, or your hand will be completely torn to shreds. Of course, I can regenerate it, but it is still unpleasant, so be careful. First, learn to simply take chakra from the Rinnegan and disperse the chakra throughout your body. The SCC will hurt for some time because of this during the use of techniques, but it will pass with time." Kurama explained everything. It sounds simple in theory. Okay, let's try it," Naruto thought and sat down in the lotus position. Taking a pinch of his eye chakra, Naruto tried to disperse it throughout his body, but his SCC began to hurt badly and the Rinnegan dissipated. Naruto grabbed his eye and began to scream. Entering the subconscious again, he heard this reaction. "Well, it hurts a little, I know, but you'll have to endure it. I'll cure you," said the tailed beast to the evil Jinchuriki and threw him out of the subconscious. Naruto spent the whole day learning to control his chakra. His CCH ached as if they were about to explode, but there was no particular effect from all of this. After going home, Naruto lay down on his bed and immediately fell asleep. The next morning everything hurt even more, and the first mission was coming up. Knowing what it would be like, Naruto sent a clone there with difficulty, and he himself returned to the training ground and continued training. A week later, Naruto was finally able to control the chakra of the eye. He was dispersing it throughout his body quite quickly. Okay, it's time to start the technique itself. As I said before, push the chakra into your hands and bring it to the edges of the skin, and then release all this chakra from your hand. But first, put at least some bottle to see if the technique worked. Naruto did so. Then he stood in front of the bottle at a distance of 2 meters, pushed the chakra to his hand, and brought it to the edges, although not exactly. Then he released all the pressure from his hand. Blood flowed from several places on his hand, and the bottle wobbled a little. Bad result. Add more chakra, the fox suggested. Yes, I already got it, Naruto said, raising his hand, then